I'll leave these here for you. That's just a regular pack of playing cards. I'll explain to you why they're there and what I would like you to do with them in a few moments. But what I'd like to start with is a gift, because usually if you give somebody something, it makes them and other people around them happy, and one will be happy and the other three might be a little bit jealous. But that's okay, I might be able to fix that a little bit later on. So, Sue, I have a piece of paper here, and inside it, I've wrapped something for you. And if you hold it up to the light, and you hold it up to the camera, you should just about be able to see it. Can you see it? It's not easy to see. I tell you what, Sue, you need a magic light, don't you? Can I start the paper? You see, things aren't always what they seem.
No way.
Thank you.
For you. Just a small gift, Sue. Completely sugar-free, so you can eat it at your leisure and won't gain any weight whatsoever. Annabelle, can I get you to write your name on a piece of paper for me, please? It's a magic wand as well, so be very, very careful. Here you are.
Which end do I take it that way?
Which end you ever wish, and it just pulls apart very, very simply, like so. Now I will say that you've got a Sharpie in your hand and a very posh cover. So Sharpie means permanent marker, get it on your clothes, won't come out. So be very careful. I have some playing cards here that are all red on the back. And you'll see that I've taken all the numbers off and all of the pictures, so they are completely blank. So I would like you please to write your name on them for me, if you will. And I'll hold it here so everybody can see, including the camera. And that says, Annabelle. Excellent. There we are. That's Annabelle's beautiful writing, and she's a lefty, which means she's very artistic and imaginative. Very good. Could you run your finger over that, Sue, make sure it's dry, please? Thank you for returning my pen. We are in Winchester. If that was in Portsmouth, they'd have put it in their bag by now. Apologies for anybody listening from Portsmouth. Annabelle, I'm going to take your card. Are you wearing a watch today?
I've got to fit this one.
Even better. If I take your card, fold it in half and in a quarter, can you just slip it underneath your Fitbit, please? Thank you very much. I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wasn't prepared to do myself. So Annabelle, keep your card nice and safe, and I'll put my card with C-O-L-I-N. That's my name. That's what my wife called me, but that's what my mother called me from the day that I was born. Sue, could you run your finger over and make sure that's nice and dry, please? Thank you. If I take my card, Annabelle, as you keep yours nice and tight under your Fitbit, I'll pop mine under my watch right here, and I'll leave the rest of the cards here. Annabelle, I'm going to turn back time to the time when you placed the card on your watch, and zoom forward time when I placed the card on my watch, and I'm going to switch them. Did you feel them go?
No.
Of course, if they did go, then that would have been amazing. In fact, Annabelle, it would be incredible.
No way!
Seriously?
So, for the curious among you, probably wondering what's in this black bag, what appears to be a bag with something rather solid inside. Allow me to show you. The bag merely is for two purposes: one for transportation of the cup and the ball, and the other one is to deaden the sound. Especially if it's on a glass table, it stops me smashing it, which we don't have today. But this is the world-famous cup and ball illusion, which is exceptionally old, just like me. It may be an idea to inspect my equipment to make sure that what it appears to be, it actually is. And for the purposes of your vision, I do have a very brightly coloured ball that shows up on pretty much any surface, which is the reason why it's coloured. I'll invite you to inspect the ball and also to inspect the cup, which is made of aluminium. In the olden days, it was made of leather. The ball would have been made of a piece of bone, but of course, in these days, with slightly more sophisticated bit of work. Then,
it's a suspicious nature.
Sean is having a really good look at that. He should have been a police officer. All right, so here's the idea. You have to follow the journey of the ball. The ball will either be in my hand, or inside the cup, or under the cup, or it will be in my pocket. So your job is to follow the ball. And when asked, I'd like you to tell me what you think it is. But the hand is faster than the eye, so it's not always what you think it is. But you know where it is now, and you know where it is now. In fact, if I asked you, Steve, where it is, you'd say it's
In the aluminium cup. It is.
Can you hear it?
Absolutely.
Can you see it?
Yep.
If I take the ball, if gravity serves me well and I put it in my pocket, it can't be under the cup. Is it on the top of the cup or the bottom of the cup?
Top.
It's on the bottom of the cup. The top of the cup is in the bottom of the cup. So if I take the ball and put it in my pocket, you know it can't be under the cup unless I wave the hand of mystery and you will see the ball is actually under the cup. So let's do it a little bit slowly this time. This time I'll show it to you, Shana. You know the ball can be in my pocket and under the cup at the same time, but I put the ball in my pocket. Is the ball under the cup or in my pocket? It's under the cup. Well, I have no idea how I got it, but a lot of people say to me that you must have more than one ball because that's impossible. If I would have had another ball, you wouldn't have missed it. In fact, there's no way you could have missed that.
Oh.
In fact, there's no way you could have missed that at all. But not everybody likes tennis. Some people
We do.
prefer cricket.
We've just been chatting about it. Oh!
I feel like we're missing something here.
The world's most famous cup and ball illusion.
Are you watching his hands closely?
It's probably in front of you. I do have a selection of cards. I don't have a full deck of cards because it's too many to go through. But I do have a selection of cards that you can see are pretty much all different. They're all the same on the back, of course, they're all red. And I would like to invite you, Shana. Actually, Annabelle, it may be easier for you because yeah, you're in the middle, so just for the camera's purpose. So rather than me try and make you take one, which means I can force one on you, I'd like you to take the whole lot. When you see one you like, take it out. But can you please choose one that's got quite a bit of white space on? Because I'm going to get you to write a word on there, and I want everybody, including the camera, to see it. So if you choose something, say 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, it's going to be difficult to see what you
no,
think.
I've chosen something.
You've chosen something. Okay, could you put the rest of the deck down on the table, please, face down? And then, if you could show everybody else, including the camera, the card, please. Don't show me. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, can you face it away from me so I can't see it?
You can't see it.
And then, you know how to work this, don't you? Because you've worked it that way before. In fact, I'll take the top off for you. I want you to write a word nice and big on the front of the card, not the red back on the front, a word that reminds you of Steve.
Oh. It reminds me of Steve.
Be careful, don't forget this is going to, nice and big, because this is going to go,
Okay, I've
viral.
written it. I've written the word.
You've written the word, excellent.
Yeah, I was going to write a different word, but I...
Okay, let me show you my hands over to you. I think I know the word you were going to write, actually. Lovely or something like that.
I was going to write heart, because that's what I was going to write. But then when he said Steve, I thought, oh, well.
Alright, let's get rid of the pen. Annabelle, I'm going to run my thumb down the pack like this. Before I get to the end, can you say stop? And the purpose of that is we're going to put your card inside, and it's going to be random. So can you say stop for me?
Stop!
Pop it right there. I'm going to show you, I won't look, and I'm
Oh,
going
it's
to show
upside
the
down.
camera.
I can't see. It's upside down.
Is it right now? I can't see
Ah, there you are.
it. Is that it?
Yeah.
So at least Steve isn't, you know, screaming and shouting because he obviously agrees with the word that Annabelle's written. I'm going to put it in the pack. Let me show you. It's going to go here, somewhere in the middle. Now, I have no idea what, on the destination of that card, or its journey, or its location, but I do know it's not on the bottom. I can look at that one now, and I also know it is not on the top. I'm going to take the King of Hearts, Annabelle. I'm going to ask you, please, if you could put your hand on top of the King of Hearts. And please don't let it go. With the 6 of clubs, I'm going to aim to take the King of Hearts, which is now here. Now your card with the word that reminds you of Steve is in the pack, clearly because you put it there. So what do you have under your hand? Oh, we have...
Oh, that's
Annabelle. So Annabelle, can you please say stop one more time for
What's in your hands?
Well, you have to watch them very closely. Very closely indeed. In fact, if I said it wasn't on the top, it couldn't be. If I give it a gentle rub, you see it does come to the top. I have no idea how to. If you could keep a hand on that for me, please. Just show everybody else that card one more time so they know for absolute sure that's exactly what it is. Okay, let's put it in the middle of the pack now. I'm going to put it in right there. Pop it in. If you can hold your left hand out for me, please. And pop your right hand on top. Can you feel the deck there? Close that. That's it. Can you feel the back? Can you see the back, Steve?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to pull your card out. I've never got it first time, but I'm going to try and get it first time. If I do, great. If I don't, then it's not a problem because it would be the first time, but I'm expecting me not to get it, and my expectations have been met. But you see, if I just reach in and snap it out, I can get it any time I wish on it, but it just comes out. You see, but that's not the real magic. The real magic is the deck of cards will disappear one by one. They're starting to reduce now. The pack's getting smaller. In fact, there are 4 cards left, 3, 2, 1. All the deck has completely disappeared. There are no cards left in your hand whatsoever, yes?
No. Oh, I don't know what's in my hand, it's not cards.
Have a look.
Oh my god, that's so weird. Oh my
Could you hold
god.
out for the camera?
I thought it was still the cards.
You know, it's still a card. Well, I could feel something, but it wasn't the cards.
So crazy.
That's invisible, I'm not quite sure. Excellent, put the forward out. So one more time, please, if you will. Super. Oops, where can my pen? Do I have my pen? See, yes, I do. Okay, so I tell you what, Sue, could you write another word on there, please, just in case you think I've got a duplicate of that.
Do you want me to do it?
Yes,
I'm
please.
Annabelle, but don't worry.
I beg your pardon, Annabelle. If you could write something on that, perhaps it reminds you of Shana.
Something nice.
Your career could be at stake here.
Right, there we are.
Dog. Okay, any reason for that word? Apart from the fact that
I was a dog, yes. I met his dog for the first time.
Okay, so here we go. If we can lose it in the deck one more time, please, Annabelle. Can you say stop before I get to the end? Stop. Oh, you've gone a little bit deeper that time. A little bit more tricky for me. I like them near the top, really. But I suppose I'm just going to have to try just that a little bit harder. But it will start with you holding the deck for me, please, Annabelle. Now, Shana,
Yeah.
could you choose any number between, I think it's between 15 and 20, no, between 10 and 15 cards down from the top. Choose any number between 10 and 15, if you will.
11.
11. Annabelle, can you count 10 cards face down, please? I'll need my magic wand. You see it?
3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Excellent. So we know, thank you, we know it's not there. Can you table the 11th card face down for me? And then pass the other ones to me, please. Thank you very much indeed. You'll see cards on the right. So, are you right, Shana? There's only one way to find out, Annabelle. Can you turn the 11th card over, please?
Oh.
Ah! You know, sometimes things don't always go quite right. So I'll have to try and locate that card. In fact, it's not here, we know. It's not here, we know. In fact, that was card number 12. The 11th card was taken away from the deck before you said the number. In fact, if the card jumped from the deck to my wallet, that would be amazing. In fact, if it jumped into the inside of my wallet, that would be incredible. But as you undo the zip for me, Steve, if it was inside a zipped wallet, that would be sensational. But if it was inside a sealed envelope, inside a zipped wallet, inside my jacket pocket, then I think that would be off the planet.
Really? Really?
All right, so
Crazy.
the next time you see this card, after it's disappeared in the deck, you will be able to see it, but you will not be able to touch it, even though it will be within 2 or 3 inches from if you can take the card.
Okay.
So let's just make sure that I don't have any more than tennis dog that Annabelle's got in her hand right here. So
Already written one.
you have.
Oh, that's my writing.
I don't have a duplicate, that's the most important thing. Can you say stop before I get to the end, please? Actually, let me show you here.
Can you go a bit further down? No, I want to go a bit further down.
Okay. It's difficult to control the last few because I'm going to bevel them like that.
Stop.
There? Do you want to go a bit
One
further?
more. One more.
Really want
Stop.
to push it to the end there.
Yeah, just felt like it.
There's not many there. You know, the difficult thing with that, it makes it even more difficult for me to do it now. Steve, if you will.
Probably challenging.
Nothing in. So, I think it's in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure the number because it's right down the bottom now. So we've got to go a bit deeper. I think it's between 15 and 22, say 25. So I'm going to guess at 23. Could you count 20 cards face down on the table for me, please?
22, yeah.
22, yeah, because I think it's at 23. I think it's at 23. 23rd card face down.
Further down as well.
I usually get it. I usually get it the second time. Thank you.
Not really there, is it?
If it isn't, where is it? Okay, Steve. For the first time ever, I'm going to be right. 23rd card down from the deck. It's not normally that deep. Turn it over for me. You see that was card number 22. And the card after that was card 24. So I took card number 23 out before you said the number. But of course, to be in the same location would be ridiculous. So let's see if we can find it. I think I felt it somewhere. I think I felt it here somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where. Perhaps it was inside a box.
Oh! With the lid on.
I will take the lid off. It's right there. And it's gone.
That's your writing too.
So that is definitely mine. You know that's definitely the card. So it's got in a bottle of water with a lid on.
No, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah, it is. When did we see him do that?
We didn't.
No. He didn't spill it. He's not wet. It's great.
So, I'm going to finish with, I get asked 3 questions, or actually that's a very bad way of putting it. The 3 top questions that I get asked, the first one is, how did you do that? It's magic. That's all. There's nothing more than that. There's no explanation. It's just magic. If that's the way it looks and the way it feels, that's the way it should always be. And to tell somebody how tricks are done, it's taking the magic away. It's like, a bit like, you know, not believing in Santa Claus, isn't it? Second question is, can you make my wife disappear or my husband disappear? My response to that is normally, because I'm quite polite, is yes I can, but I need all the audience I can get, so I'm not going to do that. And the third one is, how did you get interested in magic? So you're not going to remember this, but there was an old magician on TV called David Nixon. He's no longer with us. You remember David Nixon? You know, he's sort of the forerunner of Paul Daniels and all of that. But he was one of the very, thank you, Steve, one of the very first TV magicians that brought the art into people's home via a TV set. And I watched that at Christmas just before, and my mother and father brought me a David Nixon magic set. And then the first thing I had to do was repair it because my brother was so jealous he didn't have it. He started breaking things in there. So, but as I decided to repair these things, I got to learn them a lot better, and I appreciated what they were for what they could do rather than what they were in the box. I've still got one of those illusions with me today. And as I opened that box on Christmas Day, there were 5 pieces of paper and some coloured pencils. And my mother sat with me and said, "What are you going to draw?" I said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw something that's going to fix our problems forever, because we all have always had a little money in those days." So I began to draw 5 £20 notes. Let's pop that over here for a second. And Patty's going to come in with the camera. Now the Queen didn't look like that in those days, but she probably does now. I don't know, that's a little bit disrespectful. But I drew 5 £20 notes. And they look like this. They're not exactly the same because I didn't copy them, I drew them all freehand. So I have £100 here, and in those days that was a lot of money. And I went to the shop with my mother, and we filled the basket with everything our heart desired that we could never afford. And as we got to the checkout, the man said, "Thank you very much, that's £99.50, please." So I took out my magic money, and I gave it to the man, and just before he took it, guess what he said? "That's To which my mum said, yeah, let's put all the things back and we'll just go home, but we've had lots of fun, thank you. And I said to the chap, could you just hang on a minute? If you just have another look at them, you'll see that it is actually 5 £20 notes. That is £100 worth of £20 notes. And he said to me, I can't believe that, that's amazing. I tell you what, that's so good. If you can change them back again, you can have your shopping for free. And we walked away from the shop with all of our goods, and my magic money is the same today as it was then. Thank you. I have no idea where it came from, but that's magic. It's fantastic.
The message I tried to get across, it could happen to anybody, you know, it's not exclusive. Most of what we have, if we're lucky, is luck.